help you understand a test of psychomotor ability, which is called as the Minnesota rate of manipulation. We purport to demonstrate how this test is to be performed. We will start with understanding the aim, materials required in this particular video. Okay, so this is a test of psychomotor ability. For all those who don't know what psychomotor ability is, psychomotor ability is when we try to understand the relationship between physical movement with mental activity. Okay, so there are instances where we will have to use conscious cognitive processes like attention, perception and decision making to coordinate motor activities that involve dexterity and agility. So dexterity per se refers to the skills and the precision with which you are able to use your hands, your fingers or your body to complete tasks that require motor coordination, control, agility and all that other things which are essential for everyday life. So with this we start with understanding how this test has to be performed. The main aim of this test is to evaluate an individual's manual dexterity using the Minnesota rate of manipulation. Okay, the Minnesota rate of manipulation board, if you look at this board, it consists of 2 plywoods. Okay, both are thin. The entire board is about 75 centimeters in length and the width of the board is about 25 centimeters in length. If you look at the board, it has about 58 holes with 58 wooden blocks, okay, which is placed at a distance of about 1.6 centimeters away from each other. Okay, if you look at the top of the block has a red dot in it, while the bottom of the block has a green dot in it. Okay, the entire 58 blocks is arranged in 4 rows. Okay, out of which 2 rows have about 14 blocks and 2 rows have about 15 blocks. Okay, so this you will need, in addition to all of this, you will need a stop clock to start this experiment. So here is a demonstration of the Minnesota rate of manipulation test, which is used to evaluate manual dexterity. So there are some instructions for the experimenters before you begin. Make sure the test is conducted in a well-illuminated room. Place the Minnesota rate of manipulation board at the edge of the table before you begin. And you can give instructions to your subject while she is sitting, but while performing the test, you should ask your subject to stand up. Okay, so here we begin. You see, when I described the materials to you, I told you that there is a thin plywood board along with the test board, which is placed on the test board, and there are about 58 blocks placed in 16 columns. Okay, and about 2 columns alone have about 3 blocks, while all the other columns have about 4 blocks. Okay, you start the experiment by sliding this test board, which is placed on the plywood, towards the along with the blocks. Once placed, leave the blocks untouched, remove the test board and place it back on the plywood. Okay, here goes the instructions for the subject. Soumya, you will find the Minnesota rate of manipulation board right in front of you. There are about 58 blocks which are presented in about 16 columns for you. You find about 3 blocks towards the end, but all other columns have about 4 blocks each. Your task is to, if you are a right-handed person, your task is to start from the left. Okay, you can use your right hand to take the first block that is present in the first row and lift it with your right hand and place it in the block that is farthest away from you. Okay, then you take the second one and place it in the same column and keep moving towards you. Okay, once you have done this, you can move to the second column. Pick the first block and place it in the column that is farthest away from you. Continue doing the same. Okay, while doing so, you are supposed to do it as quickly as possible because it's a speed test and the time taken to completely fill this road will be noted, and you cannot skip any particular column or crossover. It has to be placed one by one. Take the one that is on the front row, place it on the one that is farthest away from you. Take the next one, fill it as it keeps moving towards you, and fill it as quickly as you can. If you have understood the instructions, are we ready to go? As I told you, the test is done in two different series. One is the placing series and the other is the turning series. So we start the placing series, and you have about 4 trials in the placing series. So you can start. When I say start, I will switch on the timer, and then the timer will be switched off as soon as you have completed filling all the blocks. Shall we start? So can we move on to the second trial of the same series? So this is how you will carry out 4 trials for the placing series. Now we start the second series of this experiment, which is called as the turning series. All the other instructions that we gave for the placing series, holds good for the turning series as well. So you are supposed to keep the test board within the plywood with all the 15 blocks intact inside this, and keep the entire test board ready. And then before you begin, slide the test board towards the subject around the blocks without disturbing the blocks. Remove the test board, place it again on the plywood. Okay, now the instructions for the turning series are slightly different. Here the subject will have to use again his or her dominant hand and start with the first row, but there is a slight change in the procedure. Here she will, when we were discussing the description of the materials that are there in this board, we said that each of these blocks has 2 sides to it. One which has a red color in the center and one with a green color on the other side. So the subject's task is to lift the block with her right hand, turn it with her right hand, transfer it to her left hand, and place it onto the farthest corner. Okay, and then she will remove another block for the same column and then start filling this column as she did in her placing series. Soumya, can you continue? Keep going. Okay, so this is done for demonstration. We have not started the timer as yet. You can allow probably one practice session before she begins the trials. Here again, like in the placing test, we have about 4 trials. Every trial, you are asked if the subject is ready, start the timer, okay, and tell her that she has to use only one the dominant hand, start from the extreme left if she is right-handed, start from the extreme right if she is right-handed. Okay, the only task here is to turn whichever hand that she is using to lift the blocks with. She uses the same hand to turn the block, transfer it to the other hand, and then place it in the column that is farthest away from her. And then if she is starting from left, she moves from left to right, and if she starts from left, she moves from right to left. Okay, so this is how it is done. Again, 4 trials, and after this you record all the data for both the placing